let's pony off what they were discussing there in the expectations. There have only been 2 host nations who have not made it out of the group. That is South Africa in 2010, Qatar 2022. Canada, of course, would look to avoid that. But let's take a look at, first of all, their schedule, who, a reminder, is in their group. It begins Friday, Bosnia-Herzegovina, we know this. Then their next game will be on June 18th, Qatar, then June 24th, what a lot of people say is the toughest one, which will be against Switzerland. 2022, first World Cup appearance in 36 years. They finally got their first goal. In fact, they ended up scoring 2, but it was all 3 losses. It's also worth reminding everybody, now that the World Cup has expanded to 48 teams, the top 2 move on, and out of the 12 groups, the best 8 third-place teams move on. So the odds are pretty good, but still, Wheels, if you're Canada, what record are you looking at them getting here that'll give them that path to get out of the group?
This 48-team World Cup has changed the entire breakdown of this tournament. The fact that 8 third-place teams do advance, so it's statistically easier to get to the knockout phase than ever before. We should also mention in 2022, yes, Canada lost all 3 games, but they played Croatia and Morocco, who went on deep runs through the tournament, and Belgium were the top team in the group. This group is not that. Bosnia and Herzegovina got qualified through a playoff, 64th ranked team in the world, Qatar 55, and Switzerland, for how good they are, still 19th. When you look at this, 3 points will give you, if you pick up a win, or 3 points in the group, it'll give you a 67% chance of advancing to the knockout phase. If you end up and get 4 points, it's up to 97%. So that's the pathway to victory. A draw, a win, and then you potentially have a free shot in your last game of the group against Switzerland, who's the best team in this group, to go on and see if you can do something like winning the group. And there's an inherent advantage to winning the group as well, Jordan. You win the group, you stay for the knockout phase in Vancouver. That would mean 3 consecutive games without having to leave your base. And if you win that first knockout game, you stay in Vancouver as well. The flip side, if you end up coming second place, you might play a weaker opponent, the second place team from Group A. It's the Mexico group with South Korea, Czechia. It's not a strong group. So both paths are preferable. Just don't play with fire here and wind up finishing 3rd place and having to hope.
It's manageable. The group is manageable for Canada. It's attainable to go out and to be victorious and to go and win. And I understand that Canada's only scored 1 goal out of World Cup. And Wheels already touched on the group that they had we were talking about before that tournament, how it could have seemed like the group of death, but 2 of those teams went to the semifinal, Croatia and Morocco, right? But you're looking at this group, for me, it's all about the start. If you can get a result against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and not just a tie, okay? Of course, I'm going to still celebrate. I'll do a yippee for 1 point. But this is like, yes, if you can get 3, and Jesse Marsh is big on a start. If they can start the tournament well, you go beat Bosnia and Herzegovina, you'll probably take care of Qatar. That means you're already at 6 points. You can look at Switzerland, shake their hand, take a point. 7 out of 9 to Wheels, that is a best case scenario, but it's also manageable. This team has to hit the ground running, and it all starts on Friday, because if they can get a result, Wheels, I really like their chances making it out of the group.
And the opener, the guys are going to be up for it. Like, they just will. The atmosphere, the aesthetics, the fact that this is the culmination of many years of hard work and a dream is coming true. We've said this, there's no group of death in this tournament, just based on the fact that 3rd place teams go on. But this group right here is the group of life. And if Canada wants to live their life, go out and win that first game, and you sets themselves up very good for everything that's going to come after.
Preaching. Look at him.
It's the cup of life.
The group of, it's like, I feel it. Well,
yes, I was feeling it. But here's, even 2022, when you go back there, it was a great, it was a 1-0 loss to Belgium. Yeah. 1.
They should have won.
And that's why there was a ton of expectation of, okay, maybe Canada can do something here. They scored first against Croatia. That ended up being a 4-1 loss. And then it was a lost cause against Morocco, 2-1. They were out. So this time, even though there's been some turnover with the team, there are players who were there. So I think the managing, too, of expectations as well, I think, is a lot better. You don't get too high, you don't get too low. You kind of understand now you've been there. But what about still the pressure? And I wonder if you think that's changed at all, Jordan. given the injuries, because we're going to address that as well as the show goes on, but with all the injuries, is the pressure a little bit more on Jesse Marsch to get things right, off a little bit, because you're kind of saying, well, look at all the injuries to key players that he has here?
I don't think you could resort back to that or revert back to that if you're Jesse Marsch and talk about the injuries. Obviously, you're missing Alphonso Davies for the first match. A player like Moise Bombito, you can't really replace that type of profile. But the way that he's boasted about this team, the way that he's bigged up this moment, right? There's no going back. Also, what we just touched on, you got to lock in and play Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is a team that you can go and beat. You know what they're going to bring, but you said on Canadian soil at Toronto Stadium, going to co-host a World Cup. This team, no matter what 11 they start, is good enough to go and take care of business and handle it. And you've boasted. There's some games that Wheels I'll be watching, and I'm like, you know what? They underperformed. Jesse Marsch just felt good and confident about this team from the rip, from the beginning. So now's the time to lock in. Now's the time to double down and show what you're made of. So I don't think you can go back to excuses about who's not there, because to his credit, he's built up a depth pool and a team that can go and compete. But now's the time to put your money where your mouth is.
I think it's the item of the greatest debate right now. What are the actual expectations for Canada? In terms of pressure, I think more of it will be internal than external. We're very kind in this country. There's a lot of hype, and rightfully so, trying to get people excited about this team. But objectively right now, they're nowhere near full strength. So that might have to be mitigated to a certain degree. And when it comes to the manager, Jesse Marsch, he's brash, he's bold, he's outspoken, he's controversial at times, but there's zero pressure on him whatsoever. It was a very curious decision for Canada Soccer to hand him a new 4-year contract ahead of this tournament. Most countries would have waited to see how the team proceeds, how they play, whether they can impress, and then go out and give him a new contract. I mean, that's been signed, sealed, and delivered. And the fact they played in 2 competitive tournaments last year in the Nations League and the Gold Cup, and they failed to succeed in either one of those, that raises a little bit of a red flag for me. Everyone likes Jesse. He represents a lot of what's positive about soccer in this country today. But when it comes to the World Cup, it's not just feeling good about things, it's going out and performing. And right now, going to this World Cup, it has to be said, there's questions about cohesion, there's questions about structure, there's questions about game plan. So if they're putting pressure on themselves, it'll be really interesting to see if the country follows suit and therein put some more pressure on Jesse Marsch in this team.
Quickly, I will say to my original point is that if you can go in that first match and beat Bosnia and Herzegovina and you get to settle a bit,
yes,
players like Liam Miller, players that were maybe on the fringe and now are maybe starting, and you go in and you get the nation behind you, and that 12th man is like, oh, this is what I've been cheering for. Because it's not like other countries. We got to be very clear with Canada. You got to win people over a little bit more than others. There's still people that are still lovers of hockey that don't know, they can't list 5 players on this national team. But if you go and win that first game and the city and the country is booming, they have people. People are now invested.
People that call it the FIFA. The FIFA. It's not the FIFA.
Lose the article. Lose the.
You haven't heard that?
I have not.
I have heard the FIFA.
Are you ready for the FIFA?
Well, we are ready. We are ready for the FIFA right here on the One Soccer, because we have this show for you nightly beginning June 11th. The Bet365 for the win. That we're giving you a little taste of it tonight, but that will be nightly starting June 11th. You can tune in every night right here on One Soccer, as well as the One Soccer YouTube channel. We will be breaking down everything that happens during the day, looking ahead to the days that will be as well. All of your footy World Cup talk right here.